Say yeah, it feels good, don't it? Damn, it feels good to have people up on it. Say yeah.
Welcome everyone to episode 25 of Community Chronicles, a DDPY community video interview series. We left off at season 2, episode something or other, but I have no idea what season we're in. But it was time. I found inspiration. I found a guest that I absolutely had to get on here. I would like you to welcome, straight from the UK, we've got a British invasion here on Community Chronicles. He's the hairy-chinned gent who runs amok in Kent. Welcome, everybody. My friend Steve Hyland. Welcome, Steve.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for having me on. And, 25 episodes, that's a really great accomplishment for you as well. So thank you for all you do to help get these stories out there. Really, really great to listen to other people from the community. So thank you for doing it.
Absolutely. We almost have a viewer for every episode now. We're working on it. We're going to get up into triple digits one of these days.
Well, let's see what we can do for you today, shall we?
Yes. All right. Well, Steve. Yeah, so forward this to your mom, and she could show it to all her friends.
Certainly.
But give us a little bit of the short version of your origin story. What brought you to DDPY, and what has that program done for your life since?
Sure. It's fairly, I'll take the long-winded version and I'll contract it right down for you. So my dad died when I was 14. So he was 43. His second heart attack, unfortunately, was the one that finished him off. And at that point, I kind of gave up hope, because that's what you do at that point, isn't it? A lot of what we expect to happen to us in our lives, we base on what we see around us. So I thought, that's my destiny. That's what's going to happen to me. So I kind of went into this live fast, die young mode, which ultimately got me up to about 301 pounds. And that didn't really change until I was expecting to become a dad myself. So when my wife became pregnant, I thought, actually, this is the time in my life I really need to sort myself out, because otherwise I'm going to, that history is just going to repeat itself. So I worked really hard. This is pre-DDPY, to lose that weight, and got that weight off, which was fantastic. But one of the things that was a side effect of that is I'd carried that extra weight for so long that when I lost it, what that revealed was actually some problems with my skeleton. My bones hadn't formed properly, and the diagnosis on that was that when Dad died, because my body was still growing and changing, I piled so much weight onto it so quickly that it just kind of buckled in on itself. So I've got a fist-sized indentation in my chest. And I just thought that was me. But when I went to see a chiropractor, because I was having really bad problems with my back, neck, and shoulders, he took one look at my chest and said, "How long's that been like that?" And it was one of those things that you look at the surgical solution for that, and it's really nasty. I wouldn't recommend Googling it. Lots of cracking open, reattaching things. Just don't look at it. But it was enough to make me think I can't put myself through that. Now, fortunately for me, big wrestling fan when I was younger, and I kind of grew up in that late 80s, early 90s era with the likes of Jake the Snake. So Jake was one of my favorite wrestlers. I'd seen the Beyond the Mat documentary, so knew that he was having a bit of a hard time after wrestling, and the resurrection of Jake the Snake turned up on a streaming service. And I was just interested. So I watched it. I had no idea that DDP was involved. I didn't know anything about DDPY. I just watched it because I wanted to find out about Jake. And then I turned to my wife at the end of watching it and said, should I give this yoga stuff a go? Because we'd got to a stage where it was interfering so much with family life. I couldn't sit around a table for the duration of a meal with the kids, and it really was a last resort to give something a try. So ordered my DVDs. DVDs arrived, went at it hammer and tong. Within 6 weeks, I was pain free. And just kept going from there, really. And then obviously progressed, got into the app. And from there found out, good grief, there's an instructor on there with a British accent. So, found Hayden, and then that kind of opened up doors to other people that were here in the UK that were doing DDPY too. Still not enough of us. I think there could be more. But yeah, it just kind of opened up from there, really. In terms of the benefits, still pain-free, which is fantastic. And I've got mobility and flexibility and strength in bucket loads now, to be honest with you. That's not a boast, but it's given me that kind of functional fitness that means that I can do stuff with the kids, I can do stuff around the house, I can do all kinds of stuff without having to worry, is this going to set my back off?
Oh, great. Yeah, that's what it's all about. I mean, that's the reason most of us are doing this. It's so we can run around with the kids for half an hour and not die, and not have to lay in bed for 2 days after playing a game of kickball, But you mentioned, there's quite the little contingent in the UK. There may not be that many of you, but they all seem to be notable. Like we know all of them, and they're great people.
They are fantastic people, and I've had the joy of meeting up with quite a few of them now as well. So I'm at my in-laws at the moment, which is down on the south coast in England, and not only am I about 20 minutes away from Hayden Walden territory, but I'm also in the same little village that Tim and Kaz Brutton live in as well, and we've not met before. But we were due to meet this weekend. Unfortunately, circumstances were against us. But just that opportunity to meet people face to face that you've only really ever had online is just fantastic. And I think if you've got the opportunity to do that wherever you are in the world, if you've got an opportunity to meet up with community members, what I would say is just go for it. And I think I see that Stephanie's trying to pull together a group of people to get together in Chicago at the moment. If you're anywhere near there and you can reasonably get to it, then go for it, because it just makes so much difference, and that sense of community is really strong online, but actually meeting other people in person as well just really cements those friendships. So just go for it if you get a chance.
I can attest to that. I've gotten to meet so far, I think, about 3 members of the DDPY community, and gotten to do a couple of live DDPY classes, instructor led, which was a first for me. That's a whole different experience, a whole different energy when you've got other people doing it with you. The first live virtual workout I ever did was with Hayden, and that kind of got me hooked on the idea that, wow, this is better, right? Because I'm not just watching a recording, I'm having someone interact with me. And so when you take that and put it in 3D face to face, it gets even better. And I think that's really how you get the most out of this program, is doing it with other people. And as far as the Chicago meetup, I'm not. I think I'm about 9 hours away from there, but just because of the timing, I won't make it. Breaks my heart, but I'll make it through there someday, and I'll give them a shout and say, "Hey, I'm passing through. Come meet me at the truck stop." But if you do get a chance, people, to meet anyone from the DDPY community in real life, do it. Worst case scenario, they suck as a real person, and you go back to the internet. Right? You got nothing to lose. But most of the people that are active in our community are great people in real life too.
Absolutely agree.
So as far
it just attracts good people as well, I think. So I am a level 1 instructor too. So that was born out of so my first in-person class was with Hayden, about 20 minutes up the road from here, and that made me think, actually, I want to do this with other people in the same room, but there's no instructor anywhere near me at home. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to train. And I've just got the best little group of students coming to classes each week now. They're just fantastic, really supportive, really go for it, and just genuinely very nice people. So you know what, we can get them to watch this too. That'll send your figure sky high.
Yeah, well, don't put it on for everybody at once. Make them all log in individually, right? We can monetize this thing in like 99,900 more viewers.
Okay.
So we're getting there. It's it's a marathon, not a sprint. But you beat me to it. I was gonna bring it up as far as growing your UK contingent, that you are a level 1 instructor, and your brand is Finish Stronger, correct?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. So everybody, whether you're in the UK or not, check out Steve's Finish Stronger page. I saw you have a really sweet looking venue you were using for your classes too.
Yeah, so just found a local church hall. So nice size. It was really good during COVID as well, because it just meant I could have a decent number of people in and get everyone nicely spread out. But yeah, it's a nice venue. We're going to do some more outdoor stuff over the summer as well. I think everyone's looking forward to doing some stuff in the park, which again is great, and that speaks volumes for those people as well, because the fact that they're willing to come and do a workout outdoors in a really well used park with a lot of people coming through is just fantastic. Got a lot of respect for them for that.
Awesome. And then the last thing I wanted to bring up here is you signed up this year, and you're quite active in the 2022 Positively Unstoppable Challenge. We didn't see you in it last year. What made you want to get engaged this year?
See, I was there last year. I just didn't do anything.
Oh, what a jerk.
I kind of, no, it's not, you're not a jerk. I'm a jerk because my mindset was in completely the wrong place for it last year. So what I saw were people losing a whole shed load of weight, which is absolutely brilliant, and making so much progress. And I just thought, do you know what, I can't compete. And in my head, it was a competition rather than a challenge. And I think my mindset's completely different this year. And I think so the reason I jumped in this year is I've been in this kind of boom and bust cycle for the last however many years now, and I keep losing and gaining the same 3 stones, so 21 pounds. And do I mean 21? I mean more than that, don't I? No. 14, 28, 36 pounds. So yeah, the same.
Close enough for my math.
Yeah, it'll do. So I've just been fluctuating for this long, and basically I've just been really miserable. And I think the root of that is my whole fitness challenge up until this point has been a battle to stay alive. And this year, so I'm 43 now. I turn 44 at the end of the month. So I've now outlived my dad, and my daughter is now the age that I was when he died. So this year has just got this extra gravitas on it for that reason. And I've just been, I can't really explain it. I've just been really down, really negative. I fell out of love with DDPY in the middle of last year, just because, well, I know why now. I didn't know at the time, but it was because I was busting my backside every single day because I was never satisfied that I was doing enough. Because of the weight fluctuation and everything else that was going around it, I never felt like I was doing enough. So I would work to the point of exhaustion pretty much every time. The joy of hitting the mat just went. I was doing it mainly because I couldn't think of anything else to fill that exercise space with. I don't go to the gym. It's not what I'm about. And I just thought, I need to change this. And if I'm going to change this mentality and break this cycle that I'm in, I need to try and do something different. So I kind of just threw myself into the challenge, really. And I set myself a goal. I wanted to get back to the weight I'm at now. So I think last weigh-in was earlier this week, and that was 179 pounds, which is kind of exactly where I want to be. This is not about losing more weight for me now, but more importantly, has been just changing that mindset. I'm realizing actually I'm doing okay, and being active in that Positively Unstoppable community is a way to. It kind of forces me and twists my arm behind my back to acknowledge that actually I'm doing all right. And that's what all of this has been about, is about realizing that I'm doing all right and moving from a place where my focus on fitness is no longer just staying alive. It's actually grasping the opportunities that are in front of me, having the confidence to just go for it and put myself out there and to start living. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, even this opportunity to talk to you today is the kind of thing that I would have passed up before. If you'd contacted me last year about this, I would have said no, or I'd have made some ridiculous excuse as to why the timings wouldn't work or anything like that. But today, even if this has been a disaster, I've got to talk to you, which is brilliant. And so, if this never hears the light of day, I don't care, because I've got to talk to you. We've had a chat, and it's just been brilliant to do that. So yeah, for me, it's just being in that place where I can just go for it now without that burden of, I call it my previous identity. So I was always Big Steve all the way up until sort of early 30s. I was Big Steve. And up until this year, when I've looked in the mirror, it's been Big Steve that's been looking back at me. And he has stopped me doing so much in my life, and it's time he goes. So this challenge is shutting the door and then just planning for the future now. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. And you know what? If you're on the fence about Positively Unstoppable, I was cynical about it too, but actually things have changed. And if there's an opportunity to go for it next year, or even just to throw yourself in it even a little bit more this year, go for it. You won't regret it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's take everything you love about the DDPY greater online community, take the best things out of it, and that's what you get in that Positively Unstoppable challenge, because people realize that if you treat it as a competition, you're not going to succeed, right? You compete with other people, but in a challenge, you're challenging yourself to get better, and we can all appreciate that because we're all trying to do that. And so there's a lot of concerted effort to lift each other up, and to engage with others in that smaller niche community. That's what I think about it.
Yeah, and I'm sad, but I was blind to that last year, and that's on me. But this year, completely different.
Yeah, and you're not just surviving now; you're thriving, Steve. I think you're doing great, and you're at that point where you've reached this milestone. You're older than your dad was. Your daughter's the age you were, and you should be proud of where you are now. And you should be hopeful about where you're going to go next. Absolutely. It only gets better from here. You passed that huge milestone, so that's a win. Stack them up.
If I get hit by a bus tomorrow, I know that I've done everything in my power to try and add that longevity to my life. That bit's in the bag. But if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, my attitude now is I don't want to be remembered as a miserable old git who had no fun in his life. So that's part of the shift for me now as well.
Awesome. Well, you're certainly not a miserable old git, Steve. I can give you that. What do you say? Should we roll into some rapid fire questions?
Go for it.
I'm a little rusty at this. I haven't done it in a while, so I had to write them down. All right. What's your favorite musical act, whether it's a band or an individual?
Right now, Biffy Clyro. It's a band that's taken me 20 years to discover, but they're incredible.
I'll have to Google it. What is your greatest fear?
Snakes. Don't like snakes.
What is your proudest moment?
Posting my first, this is a really weird one, posting my first shirtless pic in that DDPY Positively Unstoppable group. I've never done anything like that before. I've never had the confidence to do it before. I'm very proud of my family. It goes without saying. But if you want something that's relevant to right now, that was just so far out of my comfort zone. It's untrue. I still can't believe I did it.
That's a huge one, and it's a big one for everybody, but you'll never regret doing it.
No.
If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
I'd go back to Iceland because I loved Iceland. I had such a fantastic trip there. It's so different from what I'm used to here, and I'd go back in a heartbeat.
Cool. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Kids leaving socks everywhere. Literally everywhere. You can't walk around my house. They're just socks. I didn't even know we had that many socks in the house, but they are just everywhere.
You may have mentioned this. What was your high school nickname?
It was Big Steve.
It was Big Steve.
And that stuck for such a long time.
And then which internet friend would you most like to meet in real life? Other internet friends do not need to feel bad.
I'd like to meet Pat McDermott. I think he does so much. He gives so much. He's also a fantastic instructor. I love his workouts on the app. He's just full of positivity, enthusiasm, and yeah, it would be brilliant to meet him one day. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
He also nerds out on wrestling, on video games, on all kinds of stuff. So yeah,
I think we get on.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and then what is the worst advice you've ever received?
Oh, good grief. go to university.
Good one. You don't have to do that anymore.
I shouldn't have gone. In all honesty, I've got where I am, and I'm not going to bemoan that. But I think my path could have been very different, and probably would have worked well for me. Sorry, right, that's a bit cryptic, isn't it? But
no, that's okay. It's just the internet giving us a signal that it's time to wrap this baby up. What is the best advice you've ever received?
It was that I should go to an in-person back on track living workout up with Boston Lavinia. I think it was 2 years ago. I think it was in their garden in 2020. And again, just going back to what I said earlier on, what that meant is that these kind of random people that I sort of let into my home every Monday evening through a computer actually became real life friends. And yeah, best advice.
Awesome. Yeah, Boston Lavinia, good people there too. All right. Well, you survived, Steve.
Thank you very much. You were very kind, very gracious.
Oh, well, they tell me this. So another thing we ask everybody to do here on Community Chronicles, because this show is about community, is to pick at least one member of the DDPY community that deserves a shout out and give us a little bit of why.
I'm going to be really cheeky and give you three. So they're the Creaky Blinders. They're my 100-day challenge accountability crew, and they've stuck with it throughout. So all the times I've been involved in the Peaky Blinders. So this is for Dorothy, Dale, and Grant. They're just fantastic, brilliant support, full of encouragement. Again, lovely people, and I really appreciate everything that they do for me, and I hope I do something useful for them too.
I'm sure you do. Shout out to the Creaky Blinders. All right, man, you did it. So there's just, I swear now, this is the last thing that I'm going to ask you to do here as we wrap it up, and that's just give us a bang.
Bang.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to do this tomorrow.
No need for money, got my happiness today. I'm feeling great, and if you smile all the time, then your face gon' turn that way. Yeah, it feels good, don't it? Damn, it feels good to have people up on and say yeah.